Today we're talking about the greatest TV show ever created, Butterbean's Cafe. And by that, I mean this is probably the worst show I've ever seen. I mean, like, it isn't really, but you know, the drill, I gotta make fun of stuff like this. I actually haven't seen a whole lot of this show, just like a little bit here and there, but I think I have enough information to cover it. So basically, it's this girl's TV show on Nick Jr. about these fairy people that for some reason run this cafe, and it's like a cooking show where they make food in this cafe, and then, oh, things go wrong. But only it's so much more than that. It's not just that. So basically, the main character is Butterbean, of course, and then there's her helpers. I don't really know if I want to say their names. They're just too terrible. A Cricket, Poppy, Dazzle, and Jasper. Oh, that just hurt to say. And then there's like this other cafe, but they don't say it specifically, but you can tell it's like the poorer cafe that's like evil and is run by this Miss Marmalade character who has two monkeys, and they go around and essentially act as antagonists. But just look at these monkeys. I'm sorry, like, what is this? I mean, these people. I mean, really. Anyways, I got to thinking, you know, as I do, and I'm like, okay, there's two cafes in this show. One cafe is clearly favored by the public. That's popular and is well-funded and is a good restaurant. That's Butterbean's Cafe. And then there's Miss Marmalade Cafe, or whatever it's called, and that's obviously, like, the poor, undeveloped side of town. They don't say it, but it's clear, it's obvious. So obviously, Butterbean's Cafe is a commentary on the socio-political state of the modern world. Butterbean's Cafe represents the privileged, rich upper class. Miss Marmalade's Cafe represents the oppressed lower class that tries to thwart and save itself via criminal activity to no avail. This is shown by Miss Marmalade always causing trouble in Butterbean's Cafe, or in other words, resorting to crime as a means to achieve her goals. Marmalade always tries to get Butterbean out of business. Since her business fails, she creates subpar products due to the poverty she is in, creating a never-ending cycle of suffering in an attempt to climb the social and economic ladder. Perhaps Miss Marmalade is not the villain of the story here, and this is simply a story of class struggle in a system that has existed for millennia, the poor against the rich. This can also be taken a step further and could be compared to the world fighting for resources. Butterbean's Cafe representing a first world country, unbeknown to the world's troubles and privileged in wealth and opportunity. Marmalade's Cafe is less popular, and this is poorer, representing a third world country struggling to sustain itself against harsh political climates and economic troubles. The name Butterbean further references the famous former American professional boxer nicknamed Butterbean. It obviously relates to the show because. Anyways, the customers of Butterbean's Cafe themselves are a set of anthropomorphic chipmunks and rabbits. By the way, look at these things. Like, what is this? These people are literally nightmare fuel. Anyways, coincidence? I think not. This show is clearly making fun of the ignorance of modern civilians about the state of world affairs by portraying the common people as small creatures of low intelligence, effectively insulting the common civilian population by comparing them to chipmunks and rabbits. The chipmunks are also a clear reference to the acclaimed film franchise Alvin and the Chipmunks. Now listen here, rabbits and chipmunks both have the same number of letters, 5. What else has 5 numbers? 5 numbers? What else has 5 letters? Pizza, that's right. What is the most common pizza topping? Pepperoni. Where does it come from? Pigs. How long do pigs live? 50 to 20 years. Don't you see? It all makes sense now. There's a culture that you just don't understand. Butterbean's Cafe is a socio-political commentary in the state of world affairs by comparing everyday citizens to brainwashed rabbits controlled by the government. The show also provides commentary on the eventual feminization of masculine characteristics by having the one male character also being a magic fairy with blue hair that essentially acts like a fairy or whatever fairies do. I don't know, I didn't really watch the show. The fact that there's only one male fairy character shows the eventual suppression of society of masculine characteristics, which shows the domination of femininity in a postmodern humanistic world. Or it could just be that the show is a girl show, so there's mostly female characters, but that's a boring explanation. I need a way to connect dots that aren't there so I can make a compelling argument. Thank you very much. Furthermore, the show provides commentary on corporations and economic relations, as Butterbean and Marmalade shops are effectively the only restaurants or even the possible sources of outside food in the town of Puddlebrook. This shows the rampant monopolization of products within the industry inside the town with nothing to stop it. This results in the negative economic effects of monopolization in the cafe, for instance, possibly charging a higher price than in a more competitive market, as well as reducing choice for consumers, as well as consumer surplus and economic welfare. This is further shown by Marmalade, who is struggling in poverty, possibly as a result of this monopolization of the system. Anyways, I think I pretty much made my point here. They say that the show teaches kids cooking, but does it really? They don't cook. They just wave their wands around and make food with magic. but to a deeper extent, there are clearly many deep themes and ideas hidden within the show, not meant for a younger audience, and I have uncovered just a few of these hidden topics here today. Anyways, that's it for today. Back next time on
on the beat. Yes, sir, ChickenMan got drips. Let me scratch out a ticket to pick. My boy got ice, nice to take a big grip. You know my boy ChickenMan take risks.